Hello there, welcome back to the Once a Week kitchen. Today I've decided to make homemade pizza from scratch using a bag of flour and some yeast. The one concession I'm making to convenience is I'm using dried yeast rather than fresh. So it's going to be very cheap, very tasty and very simple as usual. Right, today I'm making homemade pizza from scratch. So I've got a large bag, 1.5 kilos of strong white bread flour. It has to be strong for bread, not ordinary plain flour. I'm going to tip in 3 teaspoonfuls of salt, 3 teaspoonfuls of sugar and 3 ounces of butter. Now in this little basin I've got 1 ounce of dried yeast and a tablespoonful of sugar. Now I'm going to mix this with warm water. This 30 fluid ounces here, which is just over 1.5 pints, and I've made this by using 1/3 boiling and 2/3 cold water, so that gives you the just warm temperature. So I'm going to pour some of that in there, into the yeast and sugar. Just give it a little whisk, and we're going to leave that for about 15 minutes for the yeast to activate. So when we come back to it, the yeast will be frothy. In the meantime, I'm going to just rub in quickly with my fingertips the butter into the flour, just so that it's evenly mixed. Right, as you can see now, the yeast is really puffed up, it's really frothing away. Let's give it another stir. I'm going to pour it into the flour mixture. Together with the rest of the warm water. The next thing to do is to sort of get your hand in. To bring this all together to form a dough. And we're going to knead it for about 10 minutes till it's pliable. Bit messy at this stage, but it'll soon all come together. More water. It's smelling very yeasty. Now this mixture has cost me about £1 to make, and it's going to make a good few pizzas, I can tell you. So it's well worth the effort to save money, and the taste much nicer than the shop bought ones. When you get the homemade topping, the tomato sauce, that's on a video called Pasta Sauce on my channel, I do believe. I've got a quantity here which I'm just going to liquidize and spread on top. So it's all coming together now. You get all the flour off the sides of the bowl, then you can turn it out and start kneading it. It is very messy, I have to say, but it's also quite satisfying. You can work out your frustrations on a batch of dough. Right, floured hands, floured worktop. We're going to knead. Pull it to the middle and press down with this part of your hand. if it sticks to the worktop, just keep adding a little bit of flour. And we're going to keep doing this until we have a smooth dough. Right, I've been kneading this for about 10 minutes now, so I'm going to pop it in the bowl. And what we're going to do with this now is leave it in a warm place for an hour for it to double in size, hopefully. What we're going to do is to cover it with oiled cling film, and the reason we oil it is because if we don't and the dough rises up and touches the cling film, it sticks to it. So it's a simple reason. So I'm just going to spray the cling film with a bit of oil. I'm going to leave it in the warm kitchen and hopefully it should rise. You will rise. Right, this is the pasta sauce. I've added some lovely fresh basil leaves to it and it really is gorgeous. So I'm going to whiz this up using the stick blender, just so it's smooth to use to top the pizza with. Right, here's the dough after 1 hour. As you can see, it's doubled in size, it's huge. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn it out again onto a floured surface. It's really light and spongy now. Yeast always needs to rise twice. So we're going to knead it again and give it another half an hour to divide before we divide it up into portions. So a little flour. And do it lightly this time. It's a lovely smooth dough. Bit more flour. You don't have to make pizza with it. You can make bread rolls or loaves. This amount would make 3 £2 loaves in you know, the loaf tins. But I like to make pizzas with it, because I don't eat white bread, I only eat brown bread. But my son does like the odd pizza. So I'm going to pop that back in the bowl now. Cover it again with the oiled cling film. And give it another half an hour to rise again. Then it's ready to use.